Welcome, welcome. It's Shelly Liedtke. We're doing our I Ching coin toss and oracle readings this evening. Introduce yourself, say hi, let us know how you're doing, where you're at. Just getting the cards set up. Welcome, welcome. Hope your day is going well where you're at. I don't know what I'm going to take a peek at today's hexagram for the transit today. Just pulling up my software. Gate 17. Okay, gate 17, line 4 today. So gate 17 is the gate of opinions or following in the I Ching. And this evening we'll start out with a group reading with the coin toss. So real briefly, we'll be using this chart here. And we will use coins, which are traditionally used for throwing the coins. And I'm sure these are replicas of Chinese coins, but I like to use them. So what we do in each hexagram, there are 6 chop marks or 6 lines. So when we look at it up close, you can see within each hexagram, there's 6 lines. The bottom one is the first line, and the top one is the 6th line. And then there's 2 parts. There's a lower trigram, and there's an upper trigram for each hexagram. And as the lines are rolled, then it forms a hexagram, and that will be the point of or focus of the reading. So we will go ahead and begin our reading, group reading for this evening. I have my little chalkboard here that I write my notes on. I'm just clearing that up and getting it ready. And alrighty. Okay, so for anyone hopping on the call or watching the replay, you want to just focus in your heart space for a moment. Take a nice deep breath. Rest into your day. Probably had a busy day. And notice out in the distance, in your mind's eye, your message maybe look like an angel wings or an envelope or whatever it looks like, message in a bottle coming towards you for your answer to a question or concern. And coming to you with a response. So, okay, so what we will do is we'll go ahead and we will roll the coins for the first line. So we have head 2 heads and a tail, which is a straight yang line. So that's the male archetypal energy. And for the second line, we have 2 heads and a tail again. So that is the yang unbroken or straight line. And holding your concern in your heart space, the third line. And this still applies if you're watching the replay. So it's 2 tails and a head. So that's the yin broken line, which is the yin archetypal energy. And then the fourth line is 2 tails and a head, which is the yin broken line or the dashed line. And then for the fifth line, two tails and a head again for the fifth line. So it's a yin energy. And for the sixth line, okay, we have, this is a changing line. So it's 3 heads, which is a yang line, changing to a yin line to form a new hexagram. So I'm going to transfer all these lines over, and then we'll see which hexagram it is. Again, I'm referring to this chart here, which can be found, there's an image of it found in the images in the Chiron study group. So you can go there and get that, and also there is a PDF document in the files tab of the group as well. Okay, so we have yang, yang, yin, so we have lake, joyous lake below. And we have yin, yin, yang, the reverse, which is mountain above. And again, we've gotten the element of joyous lake and mountain on our hexagram. So I don't know if this is a repeat of what we've already been doing. This is gate 41. Gate 41. I believe we had gate 41 either last week or the week before. How interesting. But if it was last week, then I don't think we had a changing line last week. But this time we have one changing line, so there is movement suggested. So let's see where it's moving to. It is moving to gate 19, so that's different. Gate 19 is the gate of approach and being sensitive to your own needs and the needs of others. So we're moving from just using our imagination as to what's possible to fulfill our desires, and moving towards nourishing and taking care of ourselves in our relationships and in our own life, because by doing that, then that will allow our relationships to take care of themselves and our connections with other people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open our Human Design book, and Gate 41 here. Gate 41 is evaluating potentials. It has to do with using your imagination to imagine the possibilities of fulfilling the desires that you're looking to experience or bring into physical form in your life. And realizing or recognizing actually any limitations of resources that might be involved and what is really, really possible to allow things to happen. And the sixth line here is the one that's changing, and it says being fulfilled. Bringing benefits to others while expanding your own resources. You enrich everyone through your inner watchfulness and your selective ways. So that implies being very careful with your resources, be mindfully aware of what's happening, and if you listen carefully inside yourself, I would say since this is human design, then listening to your strategy and your authority inside yourself before moving forward with anything, but being mindfully aware of the resources that you have at your fingertips, so that whatever you proceed forward to do, that it will bring support to those that you are connecting with. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. With the gene keys, the potential shadow frequency that might show up is over fantasizing, like being in a spacey or dreamy space and not really paying attention to what's going on, or being hyperactive, like just busy doing things and not really getting anything done. The gift frequency to activate here with Gate 41 is anticipation. So I like to view this as like using childlike curiosity as to what are the potentials that, or the possibilities of the way things could go. Like if you imagine there's a child peeking around the corner at the Christmas tree, wondering what is under the tree, that kind of curiosity that you can bring into the element of your day. And then also I'm being reminded by Spirit to remind us all that these readings are for educational and entertainment purposes only. They're not for making major decisions. If you need help with anything, then be sure and get the help that you need from a professional. And you can take or leave anything that these readings bring forward. So, okay. All right, so moving from the gate of imagination to gate 19. And gate 19, again, as I said a moment ago, it has to do with being able to stop and taking care of yourself, or recognizing when it's time to take care of yourself inside your relationships. This could be relationship to a business, it could be a relationship to another person, your child, parent, spouse, doesn't matter who it is, but it also has the energy of needing to be needed. So there is a potential for codependency that can arise with gate 19, and being hypersensitive, like even down to like seams in clothing, or textures in food, or sounds in the room, or whatever it is. So making sure that you're taking care of yourself. Your body lets you know when something's out of balance and it's uncomfortable. So being able to take care of yourself that way. And include yourself in the caregiving. It's not just for the other people that are in your life. You want to include yourself, because it is the need to find inclusion, as Shaitan says in his book. And then the sixth line, to focus on the changing line here, or the line that has changed, it says the sage, teaching about inner growth from your own depth of experience. You can provide immense support to others through imparting compassionate wisdom. So being a support to those that are around you, but again, providing that support for yourself, allowing yourself, that higher aspect of yourself, to provide support to you first, and then when correct or when invited, because this is a projected gate, to share any wisdom that might be supportive for anyone else that that's in your life that you have concern about or you would like to connect with. So again, the first hexagram that we rolled is the gate of imagination, and this is the energy we're moving from in this reading and being invited to move towards gate 19, the gate of approach. Okay, I think it feels like it would be good to draw an angel card and an inquiry card for our reading as well. And I have the little angel cards here. I'm on the call by myself today. Everyone is probably enjoying the beautiful day outside. So I'm going to go ahead and get an inquiry card. And then we'll draw an angel card. Maybe roll some astrology dice or something, so to play around. So each one of these cards, for anyone who has not seen them yet, they have questions on them. It's inquirycards.com. Excuse me, it's upside down. Inquirycards.com. And if you want your own decks or you want to check them out, there's beautiful images on the back. So there are 2 decks, and this is both of the decks combined together. Okay. All right, this says, what's the next step? Cool. So when I do these readings, I like to do them from a foundation of looking at potentials and possibilities, not for prediction. These are, I don't like to consider them predictive readings. But this is a nice question. What is the next step? Or I'm going to say a potential next step that could be taken. So I'm going to get an angel card out here. Right, angel card. Okay, angel card of trust. So the angel of trust. So I'll go ahead and get a little angel book out, and this is the book that I'm referencing, Universal Cards by Juliet Jaffrey and Nora Monaco. Okay. See what the angel of trust has to say for us today. All right, so it says, honor the light that is within you. What you think and feel is important. If you're feeling invalidated by people or situations around you at this time, perhaps it is time to make changes. So considering that there might be a big change, and again, contemplating on the energy of whatever that is, and let's roll our astrology dice. So the first one is Libra, so balancing relationships, having balanced relationships, focusing on that. The number 3, so with our step astrology, believe that those changes are are possible, and then rolled the north node aspect, so moving ahead, like your new direction, and speaking about it. So this would be a fifth line, teaching and leading about whatever is the focus of your next step. And these dice that just were rolled is bringing balance into relationships and understanding and connection. And then number 5, so thinking positively about whatever the situation is. And then the number 11, so in our step astrology, that is what you're becoming. So trusting in what you're becoming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a nice little idea or storyline here. So what's the next step? The suggested or potential next step could be focusing on bringing balance in one's relationship and in your heart space, and being open and receptive to receiving that balance, believing that it is possible that this can start moving you forward in your life, holding the space of positive thought forms in your heart, mind, and in your thoughts, and being a teacher and leader when invited to do that, and allowing oneself to become that energy in your life, and healing up anything that might be associated with that, where there might be an uncomfortable experience, or where healing needs to take place. So, okay, that is a beautiful reading. I'm going to grab a transformational butterfly to add to that. And, oh, this is beautiful. So we got a creative energy butterfly, and moving into creativity, but there's a little bit of purple, like ultraviolet purple in there as well. So bringing your creativity, ground in that creativity, and trust in the divine, like the angelic realms are there supporting you, taking care of you, and that all things are provided, and will move forward as planned in the grand cosmic scheme of things. So anyway, thank you so much for listening, for being here in the group. Tomorrow is Linda's I believe she's calling it quantum wellness presentation at 1 p.m. Eastern, and also Friday morning Human Design and Gene Key Study Group, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and we're going to be taking a look at the gates in the sign of Libra. And then also Friday evening is Christopher Witecki's Namaste Today. And you all have a lovely, lovely weekend. If you need anything or have any questions about anything, let Stephanie and Linda and Jessica know. We're the moderators and admins in this group. And we're grateful for you being here and joining in. And have a lovely, lovely evening.